Yep, you bet.
All right, guys, we'll start with a quick opening statement and then go into y'all's questions.
Yeah, what a great defensive effort by UCF. I just felt like Coach Dawkins had the guys ready and competitive, and anytime we got to where we could put the game closer, I thought a big play was made by Johnson making a three, or a steal by Sellers and getting a layup. I mean, anytime we felt like we were kind of getting close, I thought one of their guys stepped up and made a really great play. We had a hard time guarding them in the interior, and then ultimately, you know, in these kind of games, it feels like if we can make threes, we can find a way to counter punch. But we weren't able to do that, and UCF had a lot to do with that. Their defense, I thought, was great, and their change in defense has caused us problems, and we had a hard time keeping them out of the paint and protecting the basket.
Coach, it was a difficult night for some of your best scoring guards, Toussaint and Pops. What made it difficult for them tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of length and athleticism out there, and the changing defenses, the press back to zone, the press into man, the full court pressure, and you know, we had, I thought, some decent looks, probably a few of them a little too deep. And when those don't go in, you can kind of start to feel the squeeze of their defense and their rotations. And the one guy that really was shooting it well, Kerwin Walton, and I thought their attention to him was tremendous in the second half. They just didn't let him get loose. They blocked his shot to start the second half. And, you know, we countered a few times and felt like maybe we could free it up. I thought Pop made one that thought the game might break open for him, but unfortunately their length and athleticism caused us problems all night.
Coach, were you surprised a little bit by the physicality of UCF today? I mean, the last game against West Virginia, they put up a lot of three-pointers, but this time around they seem to really want to attack you guys in the paint. Is that kind of something you were prepared for, or is that something maybe that surprised you a little bit?
No surprises. I mean, that's a great coach and a great team that understands. I watched enough of the press conferences going into it, and when I saw Johnson in the line, I just felt like he understood what it needed to be. You know, I mean, you can tell they've got guys that are bought into winning and know what it takes to win. Now, can you do it every night? That's difficult to do, but I do feel like, you know, their attention to putting pressure on us in the paint, and especially with us being a little light down there right now, was obvious and what we expected.
Coach, you talked a little bit about UCF's guards. They combined for 31. What was the challenge in guarding them today?
Well, I thought we did a decent job early, you know, and then all of a sudden it's just stretches where they take the game over. And, you know, one jumps out to me in particular. Sellers has that step-back three in the first half kind of in front of her. I thought we were doing a pretty good job guarding him, even though we were maybe fouling a little too much. And he shot that step-back going right and made it in front of Walton. And then I was like, okay, you know, they're really trying to put pressure on us. And you can feel that they were sensing the urgency of winning the basketball game. And, you know, those are two really good guards that we guarded, I thought, better last time and struggled tonight to defend them.
This is your first time coming down here, you know, and playing UCF at Edition Financial Arena. Just what did you think of the whole fan atmosphere tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, Terry Mahajer gave me my first Division I opportunity at Arkansas State, and I'm extremely thankful for him. Coach Z, Carlos McCants, I mean, those are all guys that I'm familiar with and thankful for, and I know they know what it takes to win. The atmosphere here was fantastic. You know, it was loud, and, you know, you could tell it gave their guys a lift and a lot of respect for them.
You mentioned UCF's defense, but when you go through a long stretch without making a field goal, I think it was almost 9 minutes without a field goal. What were you seeing at that point that maybe needed to change, or what? How do you break through when you're just kind of slamming your head against the wall?
Yeah, good question. I think two things that I really felt like were important was you can't shoot shots going away from the rim against their size and athleticism. Even though you feel like maybe that's the only way to get it off, I think you got to still be aggressive and play through their chin and play toward the basket. And we had that stretch. We probably settled for some threes without getting paint, and then we weren't physical at moving toward the rim because you can't draw fouls, you can't do anything. But their length makes you want to shy away from it. and play away from the basket, but you got to do the the opposite of that. You got to be aggressive and play at the rim. And we did. I thought we did that early in the game, and we were able to draw some fouls. But as the game went on, we resisted. We went away from the resistance and can't play that way.
UCF, you guys were tied on the rebounding stat sheet. Although you guys were tied, it seems like UCF had a lot of timely rebounds, especially offensively and late in the second half. What was going on in that situation, and how were they able to come down with those?
Yeah, we guarded them late into the clock, and I think it's those obvious rebounds. The ball's coming off, and what can we do about it? And I think the fatigue factor over the course of the game settled in on us, and I thought they were rotating guys. And you look at the minutes played, Johnson played 32 minutes, but everybody else, was 20 to 19. And then you look at our minutes played, we're 39, 35, 40, 37. And I felt like the end of the game, it really wore on us. Their physicality and size and ability to rotate guys, finally got us on our heels enough, and we weren't able to play with the same physicality at the end.
Coach, I know Warren Washington has been hobbling a little bit. He tried to give it a go tonight. What's his status? How's he feeling?
Yeah, it's hard to say, honestly, because I was thrilled that he wanted to compete, and I know he loves his teammates. I know he wants to try, and unfortunately it was probably more disruptive than it was helpful to start the game, and you could see on some movements that on his face that he just didn't feel like how it was going to work. And, you lose your aggressiveness when that happens and your flow, and he's such a good passer and he's got such a good feel for the game. We just weren't able to take advantage of that feel because you could tell he was trying, but it wasn't time quite yet.
Yeah.
How did Jennings getting into foul trouble early in the first half affect your guys' game plan?
Yeah, he had 4 fouls, and we tried to get him out before he got his fourth. When he got to 3, we just couldn't get stoppage, and I'd already used timeouts and didn't want to use a third timeout in the first half to get him out. But at that point, on the next possession, he comes down and gets a foul before we could get him stopped, and it's my fault. I didn't do a good enough job coaching tonight to help us in that situation. Should have got him out sooner. Thank y'all. Great atmosphere, great coaches, good team.
Thank you. All right, guys, congratulations on the win. What was it like playing for the lead for once? It seems like so many of these games you're fighting the entire way to come back, but how more comfortable are you guys playing with the lead for definitely most of the second half?
I would definitely say we're a little bit more comfortable. That's something we've been preaching on, is just maintaining the lead, execution, and building the lead. I think we did that very well tonight. Our defense is, I would say, it's up to where we want it to be, but it can even be better with some plays down the stretch. But like I said, we hang our hat on our defense. So
You guys seem to be more take a more physical approach in this game against Texas Tech. Was that something that you'd worked on during the week? You get prepared for the game, or you guys really wanted to focus on that? What was kind of the mentality behind really attacking the basket tonight?
That's something we've been approaching, talking about throughout the week, is imposing our will on other teams. I feel like the past 4 games, other teams have imposed their will on us. So we wanted to come out and make the first punch tonight, and I feel like we did that. We attacked the paint and put their bigs in foul trouble early, which led to us being able to get to the free throw line and create points on the other end.
You guys finished the game, or at least toward the end of the game, was a 20-3 run to really put this game away. When you have a run like that, when the other team goes without field goal for not nearly 9 minutes, what's that feeling like? Does it just feel like everything is working, or what's that like on the court when you see that snowball when you start building that snowball down the hill?
It's honestly a great feeling. They're a great offensive team, a lot of offensive weapons on their team. But we've been preaching just getting stops, building stops, and they sat at 51 points for a while, and we built on that. Get out to transition, easy buckets, getting fouls. So we just built on it.
How important was it to get the win here at home tonight after going on that little losing streak?
It feels good to get a win, especially coming off a losing streak like that, coming off a 4-game losing streak. Trying to get back to doing what we do and getting back to our identity. So it felt good to get a win today.
Yeah, I would just say, a lot of teams, you can go either direction. You can either build on it, or you can fight through the adversity, which we chose to do. We fought through the adversity, and now it feels great to be back in the win column. But there's still more work to be done. With these upcoming opponents, we got to travel to Oklahoma State, so that's another big win we need.
The Texas Tech coach said both of you have the ability to take over a game. He highlighted your step back 3, Jaylin, as a moment that really wowed him. What's it like to get praise from the other team's coach after a game?
Obviously, it's a good feeling knowing that people are recognizing you and that they understand and respect you. We put in a lot of hard work together and individually, so to get that praise from another coach is great. It's a great feeling, but we're not done yet. Still more work to be done.
Yeah, I feel the same way. They just seeing just how work pay off. We be in the gym day in and day out. And my opinion, we just doing what we supposed to do.
Coach, you guys all previously mentioned that if you guys held the other opposing team to under 60 points, it's a defensive masterclass for you guys, and you guys should get the win. You guys didn't hold them to under 60, but had 61. What does it mean to you guys to play that well defensively? And this question's for both of you.
It feels great. Over the past 4 games, our defensive ranking has been trending in the wrong direction. So we wanted to get it back in the right direction. And most of the games where we win is we hold teams under to a certain amount or getting a certain amount of kills. So I think tonight we did a very good job of that. We limited touches from some of the perimeter weapons. So we just built on that.
It was a tight game going into halftime. CJ was able to snare down that rebound and then bank it off the glass as time expired. How big was that shot, that rebound and shot going into halftime?
Oh, that was a huge play. We've been preaching to getting back to our old ways, offensive rebounding, and we feel like our bigs and our front line did a great job of that tonight.
You guys, Omar and Shamari had the back-to-back dunks in the second half. Was that kind of cathartic for you guys as a team to kind of get some frustration out there a little bit? Because you guys had those close games and the 4-game losing streak. How much, when you can kind of actually get out there and be a little bit more out physical teams?
That's a great feeling. We built off our defense. We got easy buckets in transition off of defensive plays. So if we keep doing that, we'll be able to extend the lead and build on leads.
So obviously you guys went into the half in a close game. You get a block shot on their first offensive possession, and it really kind of changed the game and led to you guys dominating the second half. What was that moment like?
We preach, once we go into halftime, it's 0-0. The score just resets. We can't get caught up in what we did the first half because we're on to the next play. We preach about going out and making the first 4 minutes hell for the other team, and I feel like that's what we did. We made it tough for them defensively, and we really locked in. We held them under the points they had in the first half, which is good. I feel like we could have did better with some errors in the second half, but we still come in with the win.
This is obviously the second time you guys played Texas Tech this season. What would you say you guys did differently in this game compared to the first?
I would say we just locked in more defensively. I feel like we gave up a lot of threes last game that kind of hurt us early in the game. And when you're playing on the road, you can't do things like that, slip up on defense. I feel like we missed a lot of free throws as well.
Jaylin, being able to put together a complete performance when you guys badly needed to win. I know you felt in a lot of these games could have gone either way. You just didn't come up on the winning end. But how big is this, especially going into this final stretch of the season?
It's a big win. We have to build off this momentum. We're knocking them off and things like that. So we just got to get back to being us. When we get back to being us, we'll be fine.
Free throw shooting percentage has been a roller coaster of a stat for you guys this season. You guys went 15 for 19 from the field. What does it mean to you when you can put up a good number of free throw makes and solidify your lead?
That's big for us, getting to the free throw line. It means that we're being aggressive and we're imposing our will on the team. I feel like we did a good job of that. As far as the percentage, I feel like we have to continue to do that. I feel like we lost a lot of games based on a lot of missed free throws. So I feel like that's a big emphasis on our coaching staff and on the players and the leaders of the team is locking in and focusing on our free throws.
Coach said this week that he was challenging you guys to have better shot selection. I think you guys had 38 threes against West Virginia. Just 12 today, 6 of them going in. What was that? How did that affect the game?
Obviously the defense caused us to shoot a lot of threes. We played West Virginia. They went zone, which is designed to make you shake a lot of threes. Whether we miss or make them, it just depends on the night we're having. Unfortunately, we're on the other end where we didn't make a lot of threes, and which led to them getting out in transition and getting easy baskets. So tonight, I feel like we did it better with our shot selection. We went a little bit ground and pound with our bigs, and I feel like that helped out with us a lot.
What did you think about T.I. in the building? I think you hit a shot right by him.
Yeah, it was good. Just being able to see celebrities and things coming out to the game supporting us. It means a lot. I never really seen nothing like that, so it was cool.
T.I. fan or?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a T.I. fan for sure. I watch a lot of his movies, listen to a lot of his music. But, it's great, especially for guys like that coming out. And Antonio Brown also being here as well. It's starting to put a face to UCF, starting to build our brand a little bit more and put us on notice throughout the whole world.
You guys were tied in the rebounding sheet, but you guys had a lot of timely offensive rebounds, especially in that second half when you went on that huge run. What did it mean to you guys to be able to get those second chance points and get those possessions?
We've been preaching it a lot. Offensive rebound, I feel like we've been going away from that. We watched a lot of film. Coach has been getting on guys about offensive rebounding, and he challenged us today. So I feel like our guys, we responded correctly and went out and crashed those boards.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
We're really proud of our guys. Really proud of our guys' effort and energy tonight. It was outstanding. And I think a large part of that is our crowd. I mean, what a great crowd again tonight. I thought they just did a great job of giving us the kind of energy that we want to have a home court advantage. They've been great all year long. And like I've said, we'll always give a winning effort, and our fans have got to be a part of that. They're a great six-man, and really, really happy to have them, behind our back.
How big was a performance like this for the guys, just to play well from start to finish, to play with a lead, to build a lead and do it in front of the home crowd? It'd been a tough stretch, I know, coming into this, but how big was it for that locker room?
It was huge. I mean, you could just see the weight lifted off of them. I mean, it's tough. This league, I mean, it's really unforgiving. And so if you don't find ways to respond right away, it can snowball quickly. It can go either way for you, good or bad. And, we had a patch that's been a tough patch. I think, whenever I face adversity as a coach or as a player, and I try to explain this to our guys, you have to use it as an opportunity. There's something we can grow from within it. No one likes to lose, and I can't stand it. And my players are, would echo that as far as who I am and who they are. But there's some things we had to learn, and we had to go through to become a better team. And I thought that experience, as tough as it was, I think it helped us get better, in a lot of ways. I thought our guys got more connected. They found out how we have to play to be successful. And now we need to carry that going forward. We can't forget those lessons that we learned.
Johnny, how much of was the plan going into this game to be more physical? You seemed right from the start. You guys attacked in the paint, and you really wanted to kind of take advantage of that and on the boards and everything. How much was that kind of the game plan going into this game?
No, that was very important for us this game. We wanted to get back to being who we've been most of the season. You always have to have an identity, and that had been our identity most of the season, and we kind of lost it. We kind of lost, like, who are we? We became too much of a perimeter-oriented team, too much of a jump-shooting team. And we can knock down shots. As you see, we shot well from three. But that's not who we are. Who we are is like I use the football term, we want to ground and pound. In other words, we want to touch the paint. We want to play inside out with our bigs and play inside out with our perimeter guys. And we got a little bit lost, and it took us some time to kind of find our way.
Coach, someone that might not show up big on the stat sheets, DeMar Langford, he played some big defensive minutes tonight. What did you see out of his game, and what gave you the confidence to give him more minutes today?
DeMar gave me the confidence. It always comes from the players. I mean, with me, you earn everything. And so when you see a player out there, it's because they've earned it. And so I thought in practice, especially the last couple of days, we did some things to challenge our guys and put our guys in a little different situations and see who would respond. And I thought he was one of the main guys that responded. He came out and he played the way he had practiced the last 2 days. So that's why I had ultimate confidence in putting him in, because I thought he was very productive in the last two practices, and I thought he came out and did the same thing he did in practice in the game today.
This was your guys' third win over a ranked team this season, especially considering that, this is your first year in the Big 12. How important is that stat to this program?
It's very important. For us, when you're a new, team in a conference, and especially a conference like this, you're trying to establish yourself. And the only way you can establish yourself is to get some wins and to get some quality wins. And I think, we're in the process of doing that. And I think that helps us kind of, like I said, gives us solid footing, gives us a solid foundation. And basically for everybody, in the conference and in our community, I think it shows that we belong. You want a sense of belonging, when you're in a conference like this. And I think that's what we're trying to establish in year one.
the team went on. I think it was a 20-3 run. They go nearly 9 minutes without giving up a field goal. I know you're a big fan of defense, obviously, but what was your feeling on the bench as that's going on? Did you even realize it's happening, or how do you reflect on that kind of decisive run to put the game away?
Well, I thought it was a really good run. We have been discussing that, how we need to play to be successful, and for us it starts on that end of the floor. And I thought our guys really bought into it. I thought we did a great job. It's probably our best defensive effort, probably since the last time we played Texas Tech. We lost that game, but I thought that effort was good defensively. I thought this one was equally or better, as far as our guys being focused on every possession, following our defensive game plan the way they followed it. There wasn't there were very many lapses where, we lost focus and didn't do what we wanted our guys to do. So I was really good to see our guys, stay locked in like that.
Darius had 16 points. Jaylin had 15. While none of them had over 20, they hit some big-time shots. What does it feel like to have two guys who can go in the game and hit a big-time shot whenever it's needed?
You need that. You need that in any conference, and especially this one. You need guys that can step up and make plays and make big shots. And we're confident those young men can do that. They've done it, different times this season for us. And I thought they did it again tonight. I thought a couple of times when we ran sets and we executed, I thought they had some really good looks. They knocked down that gave us some momentum.
It was still obviously a close game at halftime. How big of a momentum boost was that with CJ? He snared down that offensive board and was able to bank it off the glass as time expired. How big was that going into the locker room?
That's a great play to end the half. I didn't think we had ended the half as well as I wanted to until that play. That play was a great momentum swinger. It gave us back the momentum going into the locker room with a shot at the buzzer. And then for him, I think it just gave him a big shot in the arm because he's still battling back. I thought it gave him a shot in the arm as well because I thought he and Silla, especially those two guys that play some 4 and some 5 for us, I thought they were terrific. Their numbers won't show it, but you look at their board coverage. I think CJ had 8 rebounds. Silla had 7. That's huge. And at Big 12 play, being able to rebound with these teams that we're playing is very, very important. And guys like that make it happen.
A stat that's been a roller coaster for you guys this season was free throw shooting percentage. You guys went 15 for 19 tonight after attacking the paint a lot and getting to the line. What does it do for your offense when you guys are getting baskets like that?
Well, I think what it does is it really settles us down, and we're keeping true to our identity. That's our identity. And it's been our identity most of the year. Like I said, we kind of got away from that. Like, we kind of got lost. Like, who are we? I think really good teams and programs, you know who you are. And I thought we got lost a little bit in that understanding, like, hey, we're a team that have really good balance, we have really good depth, and we need to play off of that. And we played off of it. Balance meaning, not just perimeter play, not just inside play. We have to balance that. And then we had to make sure that we utilize our depth, which we did. You look at the numbers, the minutes the guys played, they were down from what they had been, consistently over the last, 4 or 5 games. I think that helps us.
Texas Tech tried to get your post defenders out on the perimeter. CJ had some good plays guarding the perimeter. What's it like to know that your post players can go out there and defend?
Well, we're very confident in our post players that they can guard on the perimeter. CJ can guard. Actually, CJ's probably, and maybe Silla. Those two guys are guys that can guard 1 through 5. They're big enough and athletic enough around the basket to guard a 5-man if need be. And they can go out and guard perimeter guys. And so they really help us because we need their versatility the way we play on the defensive end. And they actually clean up a lot of things defensively for us because they're involved in some actions that they're capable of guarding, different guards, whether it's point guards or bigs. So, no, those guys are hugely important for what we do.
T.I. was here tonight, and it feels like now every game there's at least one celebrity in the crowd, like Robert Griffin III, Scott Van Pelt, so on. What does it mean to know that this team is now starting to attract these big names that come out and watch the game?
Well, again, to me, there's not many places that are more entertainment capital than us. I think we're one of the biggest attractions, one of the biggest attractions around the world and definitely in our country. And so, it's great to see people coming out and rallying around, what we're doing. I think they realize the atmospheres are electric, and people want to be a part of that. They want to share in that experience. And so I think it's great. I think it's great for our community, great for our area, and it's great for our, our campus.
How about Omar Payne, some of the individual effort plays he made? It looked like Akeem Olajuwon on a couple of those shots.
A couple of them, I thought he did too. His footwork was really good. He was confident. You know, I thought he played with a lot of confidence. You know, he knew we were going down to him, so he didn't have to wonder, you know, if he's going to get touches. And you know what? He produced. You know, he was able to, you know, with the touches, you know, produce, you know, plays for us, shots. And when he didn't have shots, I thought he threw the ball out real well. It was effortless and got us an open shot. I mean, one of the biggest plays, I think he threw it back out to DJ for a 3. So not only did he score, he also was a good facilitator from that position.
You guys started off in a full-court press, high-tempo offense. While you didn't jump out to a lead, you stayed there with Texas Tech and were able to jump out to the lead in the second half. Starting off slow has been a consistent theme for this team this season. What does it mean to stick with the team and then able to bounce off of that?
Well, it's very important. I mean, the one thing that you know and everyone knows in this league, I mean, every team is a really good basketball team. So you're not going to really, you know, just, you know, a lot of cases just run away from the team right away. That's very difficult. If you do, you were very fortunate. Maybe the team missed some shots and you were able to build a lead. So for us, being in a game like this pretty much is, you know, how we would like to play. You know, we would like to, you know, get after it. We want to play in 94 feet. As you know, we press, we run. You know, we want an up-tempo game. And I thought tonight we were able to get into that game right from the start. You know, we didn't warm our way into it. You know, I thought in some previous games we warmed our way into it. That's not who we've been all year. We've been a team that right away, this is who we are, and this is we're going to try to play our style of play. And tonight we were able to do that.
It's always no nights off in the Big 12.
No.
You go to Oklahoma State, you know, you could say they've been struggling, but heck, they just beat BYU and Cincinnati in recent days. They lost a really close game to Oklahoma today, but they look like they're playing a lot better. What's the challenge of going out to Stillwater and playing one of these Big 12 road games next week?
Another good team. I mean, they're a good basketball team in a tough conference. And so, you know, I haven't had a chance to see them, but I know they're talented. You know, I look at some of the box scores that I've seen, you know, especially recently. They're scoring the ball really, really well, which means they've got a really good offense, high-octane offensive team. But like I said, I hadn't really seen them in the stadium. I just know they're going to be good, like all the teams in this league. You know, I think the arena that we're going to play in is going to be another electric arena like ours has been. And so those are things I expect in Big 12 basketball.
All set, guys? Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. Thank you, guys. Thank you.